disabled, you should seek out cross-disability spaces where you can interact with people with different disabilities than your own, and here's why. I co-hosted a disability empowerment retreat in Park City, Utah at the National Ability Center, and I saw the benefits of connecting cross-disability in person. This is something I had already found in my own life as a deafblind woman, that when I expanded to connect beyond deafness and beyond blindness, I actually then felt like I was connecting to disability identity directly and powerfully. Connecting to disability identity connected me to disability history, disability culture, our shared experiences, and the things that we all face, namely ableism. Ableism and internalized ableism was a major component of this retreat in Park City, Utah. So let's dive into what this retreat experience was so you can really see what it's like to be in an environment like this. Not only was this retreat hosted at an adaptive recreation center, so now you have activities that are accessible, you also had a group that was super diverse, welcoming, open, and very affirming of each other. So I loved the experience. It was super memorable, and I want to thank everyone who did come, because we had a group who trusted us with their time, with their money, and their energy. I co-hosted the retreat with Julie Harris. She's most active on LinkedIn. She shares so much great information about disability in the workplace, accommodations, and she is disabled herself with various non-apparent disabilities. I loved working with Julie on the retreat. Let's talk about some of the things we did. So first of all, being hosted at the National Ability Center was really, really cool because it meant that infrastructure was accessible. We stayed there. They have a lodge with rooms and that they are regularly receiving and hosting groups in. In terms of the rooms themselves, we had lack of obstacles. They have specific like equipment if you need a shower stool. They have things on site that a place for non-disabled people is not going to have on site. There are elevators going up and down, easy effort doors with buttons to open them. Some of the rooms have roll-in showers, some of them don't, and they have all the emergency things that you would need, like flashing lights for alarms and things like that. There are very wide doorways, so perfect for wheelchair users. They've put in a lot of effort to make their rooms accessible, and they're super open to feedback. Now, one other thing about being there is we did their activities. They're all about making recreation accessible, both indoor and outdoor recreation. I love that we could just show up with a group with all different kinds of disabilities and be able to participate in the activities no matter what. That is a very freeing experience for people, because so many times we go somewhere and there's no way for someone to modify the experience for us to participate, or they're so nervous about it, liability reasons. So we can get left out, or we can even leave ourselves out if we feel like it's going to be a hassle. So we say, I'm not even going to try. And that's so sad, because then we miss out on the fun. We miss out on the experience itself. We did some really fun experiences at the National Ability Center. We did pickleball. I was not personally in the pickleball, but I heard it was really fun. This was an indoor activity, and a lot of people like pickleball because you don't have to move as much on the court. Still a great workout. So there's many reasons why pickleball has been very popular. I don't play it, but I know a lot of people love it. We also did cycling, and that was outdoors. I participated in cycling, and I had a blast. The National Ability Center has, and I'll just say NAC for short, that's faster. They have a whole garage filled with different kinds of bikes with all different kinds of formats and adaptation. I did a tandem bike that was at regular height. They had someone there available to ride with me. I believe that's called a stoker. I think that's the bike lingo, but don't quote me on that. They had volunteers to ride with people. They also had bikes that were totally different from each other. So someone else in our group sat down in a bike that was lower, and she was pedaling there. And I think they may have had a tandem version of that as well, the lower bike. There's other ones with hand controls, more stability, They've thought of it all. The outdoor cycling was really fun. We were on a pathway. It wasn't a dirt trail, it was a paved pathway that did go through some beautiful nature landscapes to look at. And then we also saw parks and people playing, people enjoying the outdoors. That was super fun. One of my favorite activities because I got to go fast. And when you think about it, you may not think about this actually. Being deafblind, if I walk really fast or I get excited about something, I start like running or moving quickly, I am liable to bump into something and maybe even hurt myself. In my everyday life, that means I don't move quickly. And I have a need for speed. Speed is fun. Of course, doing it safely. That was a safe way that I could be on the bike and feel myself flying through the air. The wind is rushing past me. I was just having a ball. Even though the bike seat was very uncomfortable for both of us, we just had a blast and it was really fun. Where NAC is located, it's not a high traffic area. They're nature. They're set on many acres of land. They also do have hiking trails, and we did go hiking on one of their trails. That was really beautiful and fun because we stopped at a tire swing. And of course I hopped on the tire swing. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna embrace joy wherever I can grab it. There was no shade on the trail, so if you're sensitive to heat, that was not the season to go hiking in because it was June. It was already really hot and sunny. We got to go away and come back down to where NAC was, so we got some really pretty nature views. It was the same thing with the biking. We got to go right into natural landscapes, even though that there were some streets and some parks right there. Another physical activity that we did was archery. We had yoga available at the same time. We gave people choices. And I think everyone came to archery because I think it's just something that we don't get access to in our everyday life. Archery was so fun. Maybe you might not think it's fun, but I have now an interest in archery. It was that fun. We were in a covered area, which was great for protecting us from the sun. The people leading the activity showed us different ways of adapting. So there was a stand for someone who was blind to do archery. They also had a stand for people who maybe have limited dexterity or paralysis. And they even had a way that you could release an automatic release for the arrow. And that's an attachment that you can put on as well. So they really could adapt to all of us and what we needed. I used a bow where the arrow locks in. I found that to be really easy to use and it wasn't heavy at all. Spoiler alert, I was pretty good at archery. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. I was hitting the target, not always bullseye of course, but I was on the board and it was really, really fun. Everyone had fun though and we were cheering each other on. That was a really great community activity. Have you ever done archery before? Did you like it? Did you find it as fun as I did? The last physical activity that we did with NAC was equestrian assisted learning. They have horses. The horses live there and they have really interesting stories, the backstories of these horses. Some of them were donated, a lot of them are older. One of them was a retired movie star and has actually been in films. And so it was really fun to know the names of the horses, a little bit of their backstories. Equestrian assisted learning is not riding horses. It's interacting with horses. You can pet them, you can brush them, you can lead them around and they're walking behind you. We were in a big indoor ring where we could do all of those things. And we had 4 horses with us with different personalities, different color patterns on them. And we were able to go and interact. One thing that was really cool for our one participant was a wheelchair user. She was able to come into the ring on a motorized, I don't even know what it's called, but it was like a seat on top of wheels. It was motorized, of course, she could navigate, and the wheels had tracks around them, kind of similar to what you would see on a bulldozer. So it was very powerful and easy to go out onto more of an uneven terrain. So she was able to even lead horses behind her while she was on that. So it was really, really cool to see all the adaptation that was available. I had fun petting the horses, talking to the other participants, hanging out, and I did also lead a horse around behind me. They, at every activity, had support for us. Multiple people were there facilitating, and it was really easy to communicate with them. I'm totally comfortable giving feedback, and that's one of the things that we talked about. At the retreat, we did workshops. Julie and I led workshops on internalized ableism, what it is, how it impacts us, how to unmask, and also how to engage in self-advocacy and create scripts to make it easier. So we had 3 very in-depth workshops where everyone connected with each other. They were vulnerable. They shared their stories. What is beautiful about that is that no matter if someone had a physical disability or someone else is neurodivergent, they see connection points. They share common experiences with each other. And I thought that was very, very beautiful. And it is wonderful to learn from each other, because oftentimes we're in our own disability experience and we don't actually know a lot about other types of disabilities, especially if you're not in a cross disability setting often. It is really important and impactful, I think, to learn about the variety of experiences within disability and find that we're all connected in different ways, that we can understand chronic illness a little bit better, or a speech disability a little bit better, cognitive disability, autism, being able to have those conversations and also fully accept each other as humans, just however we're showing up, is healing, relaxing. Like, you don't have to hide any part of you. You don't have to make yourself fit into a mold. You can come as you are. And that's the experience that we wanted to give to people, to show up exactly as you. And this is a space that's safe to do that, and that you can kind of take that back into your everyday life if you feel ready to do so. But at least creating this space where you can just show up as you are, not worry about, is it going to be accessible? Do I have to change the way I'm talking or existing? So that was really, really exciting. And one participant was deaf, who communicated mainly through ASL. So we had interpreters on site as well. So even just communicating within the group, we adapted to each other in many different ways. So I think that's a really great experience to have. And I'm so happy the group got to enjoy that. Beyond just kind of being in the workshops, getting to talk about things like feeling like a burden or feeling like you don't want to ask for too much and breaking through that, as just one example, we focus on building community through socializing with each other, through having fun. We had so many mealtime moments, breakfast, dinners. We would order food in. We even went out to downtown Park City for the afternoon, where we got to eat a beautiful lunch at a restaurant that was accessible and sponsored by Visit Park City. We ate at Cafe Terigo, but it was lovely. Such great service, food options for vegetarians and vegans in our group was really well served and respected. We had a great time there. Just walked around, window shopped, or rolled around. We explored. We got to hang out and be outside. We also, some of us went to a Latino arts festival that was really fun, but there was a lot of flexibility. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And I think that's something that people don't always experience on a trip. A lot of times we feel like we have to show up, we have to push through, we have to be there. This weekend was all about show up if you want to, take a break if you want to. We are not judging you. We are not forcing you to do anything. So you can really tune into your own needs. So I think that's wonderful to be able to give people that experience if they haven't had it yet. Have you ever been to Utah or Park City? Did you know that Park City has hosted the Winter Olympics before, and they're actually set to do it again? So the Olympics are coming back, and they're a big, big destination for winter sports and athletes. All in all, hosting this weekend was transformative for the participants, but also for me. Anytime that I get to facilitate, which I have been able to do a few times now, anytime I've been able to facilitate a cross-disability experience that is affirming, that promotes travel and adventure and community, I leave with so many new learnings and also just a renewed commitment to creating these spaces, to supporting and being in community myself, and making sure that I'm building that into my life on a regular basis. I am so grateful to all the participants and to NAC. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, wow, NAC sounds really cool, how can I go? The good news is you can go. Even as an individual, you can sign up as an individual participant, build a program with them, stay at their lodge, and engage in outdoor recreation. Plus, they have scholarships. I really appreciate their commitment to making sure that no one is turned away. So they will ask you how much can you pay. They will work with you. So shout out to NAC for everything they're doing for the disability community. And I hope that you, if you like experiences like this, you'll continue to stay in touch with me, so the next one you will know about it. The best way to do that is to get on my newsletter list. If you're not on that, sign up. Look for the link in the description. You can get a very short weekly message from me in my newsletter. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you watched this video about the belonging retreat. I hope that it sparks some thoughts for you about being in cross-disability spaces, and that you'll be seeking those out more. I think it's very powerful and affirming for everyone. Subscribe so you can see more videos on accessible travel with BlindishLatina. Until next time. If you want to see more videos on inclusive and accessible travel, subscribe to BlindishLatina and let me know all your questions in the comments, and I will see you next time.